There's a lot of misconceptions when you talk about the word of the Most High. Many people believe many things for the wrong reasons. I want to talk about two things that a brother brought to my attention. One of my subscribers named Red5. He asked me a question and basically wanted me to do a video about, does the Most High love everybody? And is his love unconditional? And he also wanted me to do a video about, is Yeshua, who the world knows as Jesus Christ, was he a soft man? And I'm going to touch on these points real quick because these are two things that a lot of people have wrong. One thing you'll hear a lot of people say is, God hates the sin but loves the sinner, which is complete foolishness. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Also, a lot of people believe that Yeshua, who the world knows as Jesus Christ, was a soft man that also loved everybody, that he never hurt anybody, and once again, nothing could be further from the truth. And these things are important because you got to get these things right to serve the Most High in the right way. Also, these things are very satanic in their nature because they keep people in their sins. They keep people transgression. They keep people falling short. They keep people just in a state of okayness, if you will, or a state of thinking they're okay with getting away with the sin that they're doing, And that's not true. If we don't get it right, the Most High is going to punish us, and people that don't get it right going to the lake of fire for eternity. That's just the bottom line to it. But once again, we have these doctrines out here that make people feel good about doing wicked things. And I'm going to touch on these two real quick. Does the Most High love everybody? Is his love unconditional? And was Yeshua HaMashiach a soft man? Let's see what the Bible got to say about these two things. All right, we're going to start off in Psalms chapter 7, verse 10 through 12. We'll see what that got to say. Psalms chapter 7, verse 10 through 12. My defense is of YAH, which saveth the upright in heart. YAH judge the righteous, and YAH is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He hath bent his bow and made it ready. Now, verse 11 is the kid says, YAH judge the righteous, and YAH is angry with the wicked every day. Does that sound like he loves the wicked? No, it says right there he's angry with them every day, and rightfully so. So we have to keep these kind of things in mind and know that if we're not doing right, we do not have the Most High's blessing at that time if we're not following his law, statutes, and commandments and showing love to our brother. These things are very important. All right? These things are very important. It says he is angry with the wicked every day. All right? Let's go further. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. Let's see what that got to say. When you talk about Deuteronomy 28, most people think about the curses that set on black people, were known as black people today, which really are the children of Israel. All right. And we deal with the curses, but also he had in there what things would be good for us, which we didn't get to enjoy that much because our forefathers messed up and put the curses on us immediately almost. So, and of course, we know how that ended, and we're under captivity to this very day. But in verse number 1 of chapter 28, I want to touch on something to see about, is YAH love unconditional? Because most people think that once saved, always saved. That's another false thing you hear. Once saved, always saved. That's a lie. That's not true. Let's see what the Bible got to say about it. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And this will come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of YAH thy Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I have commanded thee this day, that YAH thy Elohim will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Okay, that's what was supposed to happen to our forefathers. Okay, but that didn't happen overall. All right, we went into captivity because of our sins. Okay, but here, go back to 28 real quick. Let's go back to verse number 1. Check this out. It says, and it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of YAH thy Elohim. It says if. What does if mean? If mean, matter of fact, my brother touched on this in the video we did previous. If is conditional. If mean, if you do this, I will do this. So how can people think that the Most High's love is unconditional when it clearly he said, if you follow my law, statutes, commandments, then I will bless you. But if you do not, you will not be blessed. All right. So we see there that YAH's love not conditional. But let's get some more witnesses on it. All right. Let's get some more on it. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1 through 3. All right. See what that got to say. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1 through 3. This is when the Most High was giving King Saul his orders to go to war against the sons of Amalek. And let's see what happens with this. 1 Samuel 15, 1 through 3. Samuel also said unto Saul, And Yah sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of Yah. Therefore says Yah of hosts, is come from the Most High. I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. When our people was escaping Egypt, Amalek was one of the nations that stood to try to keep us from escaping. Okay, that's why he has a perpetual hatred for them and Esau. That's what basically was happening here. But check out what he says. Verse 3. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that he have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. Did you see that there? He said, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling. So you mean kill the children? God said kill the children? Yes, he did. This is a serious Elohim that we serve here, that kills women and children if the situation calls for it. That don't sound like an Elohim that loves everybody. That his love is unconditional, does it? But that's what he said there. And that's what he's done to the wicked. It says, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel, ass, even everything got to die. Everything moving got to die. Okay? Ultimately, Saul would fail in doing this and lose his kingship to who we know as King David. And later on in the story. But you see what the command there was. You see what the decree there was. To kill everything. All right? Does that sound like a God that loves everybody? And his love is unconditional. All right? Think about that. And let's get some more on it. Let's go to Malachi chapter 1, verse 1 through 4. Malachi chapter 1, verse 1 through 4. Let's get that. Last book in the Old Testament. Malachi. Malachi chapter 1. Here we go right here. Malachi chapter 1, verse 1 through 4. Let's read that. The burden of the word of Yah to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, says Yah. Yet you say, when hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Says Yah. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and made his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Wherefore Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate waste places, the desolate places. Therefore says Yah of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. Side note too, a lot of these heathens, including Edom, all these heathens think that they're going to always build things up and that they're going to always keep their nations. No, we're coming to the time where the building is about to stop, particularly in this country. But they're not going to be able to build forever because the wickedness, the cup of iniquity is too full. It's overflowing. So Yah's going to stop him from building. The building's about to stop. This is the time now. If you have not been baptized, to get baptized in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, to get baptized and to take your walk with the Most High serious, because we're coming upon some serious times here. All right, let's keep reading this. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Most High Yah have indignation forever. Did you see that there? You see I got that underlined. It says, the people against whom the Most High Yah have indignation forever. He said he had indignation for these people forever. Does it sound like he loves everybody? Does this sound like his love is unconditional? No. We can clearly read in this Bible that's not the case. But yet this is the fallacy that some people want to put forth so people can keep on in their sin and keep doing what they're doing. But if you read the Bible for yourself like we're doing right now, we'll see what it really says, okay? And let's get one more on this about the Father's love. Let's go to Acts chapter 17, verse 29 to 31. Acts chapter 17, verse 29 to 31. All right. Acts 17, 29 and 31. Let's read this. Excuse me. Forasmuch, then as we are the offspring of Yah, we ought not to think that the Elohim head is like unto gold or silver or stone graven art or man's devices. And at times of this ignorance, Yah winked at, okay, says he winked at it. That means he gave you space. He didn't severely punish you at that time. Says Yah winked at, but now commandeth all men everywhere to repent. Do you see that there? Okay, so it says he winked at ignorance in one time, but not anymore. And guess what? We're in the time where he's not winking at ignorance anymore. He's calling everybody to repent before you get destroyed. Okay? Did he wink at things before? Yes, but not anymore. You see that there. So therefore it shows you that his so-called the love is not unconditional. Okay? It has condition. It has a time period. All right? Because he has appointed a day in which he will judge the world in righteousness by that man who he hath ordained. Wherefore he hath given assurance unto all men, and that he hath raised him from the dead. So we see in 31, it says, because he hath appointed a day, which is the day of judgment, Yeshua HaMashiach's second coming, in which he will judge the world in righteousness. I mean, there's going to be a payback time. Okay, it's definitely a condition. Okay, it definitely has a time limit. And now's the time to get yourself right. So we see there about a few verses hitting on a few witnesses there that Yah love is not unconditional. It has conditions on it. And he does not love everybody, okay? It's very important to clear up so you can get right in your walk and do things the right way. Understand what the Most High expects of you as a servant of him, all right? Now let's go to the topic of Yeshua being soft, or who the world knows as Jesus Christ being soft. Caesar Borgia, which is the white fake image that most people know to be Jesus Christ, is very feminine looking, wearing nightgowns, things of his nature, looking soft. And this is, unfortunately, this is the image that most people have of Yeshua HaMashiach, who they know as Jesus Christ. But let's see what the Bible say, what kind of man he really was. You'll see that he was a man that did not play. He did not play then, and he's not going to play when he come back this second time around and burn this earth to the ground. Okay? So let's see about that. Let's go to John chapter 2, verse 13 to 16. John chapter 2, verse 13 to 16. John chapter 2, verse 13 to 16. And Hudim Passover was at hand, and Yeshua went up to Jerusalem, and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves, and the changers of money sitting. And when he had made a small scourge of small cords, that's mean like a harsh belt, we're going to see what he about to do with this belt. He drove them all out the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out all the changers' money, and overthrew the tables. You see that there? You see what he did? And he said unto them that sold doves, take these things hence. Make not my father's house an house of merchandise. And unfortunately, that's what these so-called churches are today. They're nothing but houses of merchandise. Matter of fact, a lot of them have ATMs in them. All right? That's what they are. They are satanic houses of merchandise. So the very thing he told them not to do, that's exactly what they did. But let's focus on 15. It says, and when he had made a small scrounge of small cords, he drove them all to the temple. That means he whooped their ass out that temple. Once again, does this sound like a soft, effeminate man to you that would make something like this and beat them people out that temple for doing this wickedness? No, it doesn't, does it? We see clearly here, our Messiah doesn't play. He wasn't a soft man. He don't play any games. He whooped their ass out that temple for doing what they was doing. Let's get some more witnesses on it, though. Let's get some more witnesses. Let's go to Matthew chapter 15, verse 21 to 28. Matthew 15, verse 21 to 28. Matthew 15, 21 to 28. Let's see what this says. And Yeshua went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon, And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O master, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. And he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she cries after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, so you see there, because a lot of people like to say Israel was done away with. Well, clearly the Messiah didn't feel that way. He clearly didn't feel that Israel was done away with. He said, I come not only but to them. All right, let's see what else happens. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Master, help me. Okay, we have this Canaan woman, which is a Gentile, an African Gentile, begging him to help her. And he's ignoring her. But let's check this out. But he answered her and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. He called this woman a dog. Do you see that? Does this sound like a soft man to you? To call this woman a dog. Now, to her credit, though, let's see what happens. And she said, Truth, master, yet the dogs eat from the crumbs which fall from the master's table. Then Yeshua answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. So, even though she was a Gentile, and he said he called her a dog, she still had faith, and by her faith, she was able to make it. Her daughter was made whole by her faith. That means other Gentiles can do it too. Because you have a doctrine out here that say that only Israelites can be saved and only black people can be saved, which is far from the truth. Other Gentiles can be saved as well if they do what this woman did. If their faith and their worship is good enough, they can be saved just like her, okay? But you see what he called her there, though. He called her a dog. He said, verse 26, but he answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. Does that sound like a soft man? The soft man that they make him out to be? No. We clearly see that's not what he was. All right, let's keep going. Let's get another witness. Let's go to Matthew 23, verses 27 to 33. Matthew 23. Matthew 23, verse 27 to 33. Let's see what that says. This is him getting on these Pharisees. And see how he talked to them. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. Now you see the exclamation point on hypocrites. I mean, he's yelling at them. He is screaming at them right now, okay? For ye are like unto white sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones and all uncleanness. So they look good on the outside, but inside their spirit is wicked, right? Even so, ye also outward appearance righteous unto men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. We have to be careful in our own walk not to be like this. You know, a lot of Hebrew Israelites wear fringes and stuff like that, but they're wicked as hell. They hate their brother. They're doing all kind of transgressions, but they got all the Hebrew garments, though. The Most High don't care about them Hebrew garments if you're wicked as hell. If you're wicked as hell, you're going right in the lake of fire with everybody else. Let's see what he says. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. See, he called them again. He getting on them again. Because ye blind, ye build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous. And say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would have not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill you up then the measure of your fathers. Check this out, 33. You serpents, you generation of vipers. You see what he called them there? He said, you serpents, you generation of vipers. How can you escape the damnation of hell? You see that? He said, you serpents and generation of vipers. Does that sound like a soft man to you? Calling them serpents and a generation of vipers. Screaming on them, getting on them. And many times in the scriptures, you see how he got on the Pharisees and Sadducees for their wickedness. You see that? Once again, we can see clearly that Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world knows as Jesus Christ, was not a soft man. Did not play around with people. All right. Let's get one more. Let's go to Revelations. Let's go to Revelations chapter 14, verse 14 to 20. Let's see what this says. We'll end it with this. Just want to show you all a few scriptures of what the Messiah was really about And does God love everybody? Does the Most High love everybody? Does his love have conditions on it? So we got a few witnesses on that to see what it really says, okay? Now let's go to Revelation chapter 14, verse 14 to 20. All right. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat, like unto the Son of Man, which is Yeshua HaMashiach, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. By the way, that sharp sickle, that's where they get it from the golden reaper. That's where they make the golden reaper from this. That's what that sharp sickle is, okay? Let's see what they want me doing with that sharp sickle. They think that he loves everybody and that he coming back with flowers and all that. Well, let's see what this book got to say about that. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. Do you see that there? You seeing what the angel tell him to do? He tell him to take that sickle and start cutting people up. All right? And he that sat on the cloud thrust in the sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. He's reaping the earth of all the wicked people at his second coming. And another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven, and also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar, which had the power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather thy clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into a great winepress of the wrath of YAH. For the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress. This don't sound too good. It says blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse's bridle. Do you know how tall a horse is? Those of you that been on a horse before, you know how tall it is? It says it's going to be horses all the way up to his bridle. You know how much blood and dead bodies that got to be? How much destruction that got to be at his second coming? But yet you're going to tell me he loves everybody? And this was a soft man? No, we clearly see that's not the case at all, don't we? Even unto the horse's bridle by the space of 1,600 furlongs. All right? I mean, and with that, just wanted to respond to a subscriber and hit them two topics to show you that the Most High does not love everybody, and his love does have conditions. You have to do what he tells you to do. If you do not, he does not like you. If you're living in sin, he does not like you if you're living in sin. So all that he loves the sinner but hates the sin, no, that's a bunch of foolishness. That's crap. He hates the sinner and the sin when it's sinning. If you want to get the Most High's favor, you have to do what he tells you to do. Then he will love you. Only then. Okay? Everybody wants something for nothing. Everybody wants something for free. Everybody wants something for nothing. Everybody want to do everything else, but they don't want to worship and submit themselves to the Most High, which is we all got to get this right. We got to submit ourselves to the Most High. And about Yeshua being soft. Everybody want to say he loved everybody. He was soft. They say he was many colors. Many things they say foolishness. We see that's not in the book. He is a man that does not play. Did not play then, and he's definitely not playing at his second coming. Okay? So let us read this word with truth. Let us read this word and get some understanding. Read the book for yourself. I always tell people, you got to read this Bible for yourself to really understand what it's saying. You got to do that. You got to burn that midnight oil. So you're not deceived like these other people out here, believing this foolishness, all right? Once again, that was for the subscriber, Rod5. He had wanted me to do that video real quick. I hope y'all got some edification by that. And y'all willing, I'll see y'all next time.